Skip it up and that up. I think it's safe to say that Logan Paul in 2018 is considered the cancer of YouTube. And I'm sure that PewDiePie is relieved by that, because in 2017, he was considered public enemy number one when it came to YouTube. Now, if you remember, all the drama with Logan Paul started when he visited the suicide forest in Japan in 2018. And not only did he actually see someone in the forest that committed suicide, he put that person in the video. Yes, he blurred out their face. And the way he acted was absolutely ridiculous in the video. Yes, he tried to twist it around and make it like a public service announcement about suicide and depression, but it didn't work because the way he acted, he pretty much was being a douche nozzle. And to make matters worse, in the thumbnail of that video, he had the person hanging. Even though the face was blurred out, fine, I'll give him that. He still showed a dead person in his thumbnail and said, "We found a dead body," as the title of the video. Because he's a douchebag. Now, honestly, I like giving people second chances because I know I've screwed up before and people can change. I believe I have changed. And Logan Paul did seem genuinely sorry about what he did. He made a written apology that wasn't that great, but then he did a video apology, which seemed genuine. And I'm like, you know what? He may come back and learn a valid lesson from making stupid mistakes like he did. I have done dumbass crap in the past that I would never do again. But then he came back and decided that remaining a giant douche nozzle was a good idea. He tased dead rats. On Twitter, he said that he would partake in the Tide Pod challenge. Someone found out he was using misleading tags in his videos, blah, 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 blah. So no, the Logan Paul status quo remained the same. He didn't change at all, even after making a very, very huge mistake by filming someone who was hanging in a suicide forest in Japan. He proved that he learned absolutely nothing. Now, as much as I also agree that Logan Paul is cancerous to YouTube, there's a lot of petitions and crap I saw where people wanted him permanently kicked off the website. And I didn't comment on it because I wasn't on board with that. I feel that if we don't stick by one standard for everybody, no matter how small or how big of a YouTuber they are, then you go down that slippery slope of where if someone just wants someone off of YouTube, they can just go on a social media witch hunt, which we've seen with major celebrities even outside of YouTube, and they could ruin their careers. And I don't like that. I don't like how someone's life could be simply ruined due to an accusation. I see that happening with the Me Too movement. I do agree with a lot with what's going on with the Me Too movement, but I don't like that as soon as someone is accused of something, their livelihood in life is basically destroyed. And even though with what's going on with Logan Paul is somewhat different, I'm kind of glad that Susan Wojcicki, who's the CEO of YouTube, stood up and said, yeah, no, we're not just going to flat out ban the guy. He has a strike. He deserved that strike. But people just can't be banned from YouTube because there is a group of people that don't like them. They have to violate terms of service. And he hasn't violated terms of service, Logan Paul, that is, enough yet to be banned from the website. And Susan Wojcicki isn't going to back down to this movement that wants him off of YouTube. Susan Wojcicki was being interviewed at the Code Media Conference, and someone asked about Logan Paul being kicked off of YouTube, and this is what Susan had to say.
Look, we do terminate accounts all the time.
Right.
So we do have a 3 strikes rule, and if somebody violates 3 times, then we terminate those accounts, and we do that all the time. And we always try, when we think about our actions, to make sure that we're being consistent.
Right.
And whatever we're doing, we're applying.
That you're not consistent.
No,
right?
they might complain about that, but we try our very best to be consistent across everybody.
Okay.
And when someone does violate our strike, if they have 3 strikes, then yes, we terminate that.
Right.
The problem is when someone will do something that is egregious, but it doesn't fully violate the policy, or they get 1 strike but not 3 strikes. And so that was actually why this announcement that we had on Friday we thought was really important, is it does give us a lot more levers and opportunities to be able to implement and pull back any kind of services for creators if they are violating or doing something egregious on our platform. But he basically, to answer your question, he hasn't done anything that would cause those 3 strikes. And so we can't just be pulling people off of our platform. If we did just pull people off of our platform because
they're tasteless and vile.
Well, they need to violate a policy, and we need to have We need to have consistent behavior. I mean, this is like a code of law.
Let's get to that. Why don't you, you can always, you're Google, you can change the rules, right? Like you can just say, now we're doing this.
Yes, but like what you think is tasteless is not necessarily what someone else would see as tasteless. And so I'm just saying we need to have consistent laws, codify that in our policies so that that can be trained and we can apply it consistently to millions of videos and millions of creators.
Now, what can cause you to get a strike on YouTube no matter what size your channel is? Well, I'm reading right from the YouTube community guidelines, and this is what could cause you to get a community strike. Videos that contain nudity or sexual content, violent or graphic content, harmful or dangerous content, hateful content, threats, spam, misleading metadata, or scams. Now, you're given 3 chances on YouTube, or 3 strikes. If you get the first strike on YouTube, you may not have access to certain features. I know if you get a strike on YouTube, you could no longer live stream on YouTube, which to some people could be very devastating. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube now who stream more than they actually upload content. So that's pretty crappy. You get 2 strikes on YouTube. For 2 weeks, you will not be able to upload anything. Then after 2 weeks, you could upload content again. You'll still have limitations to what you can do on your YouTube channel. Like you still not be able to live stream, but at least you could upload videos after a couple weeks. You get 3 strikes on your YouTube channel. If you violate the terms of service and you get 3 strikes, YouTube can shut down your channel permanently. So there you go. Those are the rules. And Susan Wojcicki, which I am happy about, is saying, look, you know, he has to violate terms of service. It's black and white. We're not just going to kick him off the website because that's the popular thing right now, which I'm happy with, man. I wish other sponsorships and other websites and things also followed, saying, hey, terms of service, it's black and white. If they're following it, they stay on our platform. If they don't, they get kicked off. We're not going to bend the rules and be harsher on some people than we are on others, because that happens all the time now and I can't stand it. Look, I know a lot of you have a lot of issues with YouTube. I have a lot of issues with YouTube. It is not a perfect platform by any means, and it has many flaws. And one of its biggest flaws, like many corporations, is that they don't act until it's too late, and it drives me insane. But with this one, with Susan Wojcicki saying, look, it's black and white, he has to violate, Logan Paul has to violate TOS, we're not just going to kick him off the platform because it's a popular thing to do, I applaud her for, because that happens all the time now, even beyond like the Me Too movement. If someone is accused of something, if someone puts up a change.org petition and it gets the right amount of traction, even though they haven't been officially accused of anything, or they may have even not done anything wrong, there's just a group of people that don't like their opinion, you will see sponsors and corporations and websites and whatever the case may be, they'll just fold like a deck of cards and say, oh my God, there's a decent sized group of people that don't like said person. We have to cave to them because we don't want to lose them as a customer. And I don't agree with that, man. I'm happy to see that YouTube in this instance is having a spine and saying, look, you may not like Logan Paul, but he hasn't done enough yet for us to kick him off the platform. You know, I hope and assume that standard would apply to even a smaller YouTuber, where they would defend them too. But I'm just going to assume that they would, and I'm happy to see that Susan Wojcicki is saying, look, we're not going to cave to pressure. The TOS is black and white, and it has to be violated for us to actually kick them off. So I applaud her for standing up to the pressure, and I hope that YouTube continues to do that, because that is the right thing to do. And I hope the rest of the industry follows suit. It doesn't just cave to social media pressure, which happens all the time. This is Richard, Review Tech USA, signing out. Have a good one.